Orale, Cholo Trucker Moss movies and shows, and we got the movie Blue Beetle. I've been waiting for this movie to come out for a while. When I first saw that this movie was coming out, I was a little bit blown away, Holmes. We'll get to all of that in just a second. So, over the weekend, I went with my older son, went to go check it out. I did a little video just letting you guys know that I was checking it out and that I'll tell you guys what's up. This is what I'm telling you guys what's up with the movie. Okay, so we got Zolo, which is quite a freaking name, dog. Character from Cobra Kai. I'm a big fan of Cobra Kai, so I'm pretty familiar with this kid's work. I am impressed with him in Cobra Kai. I thought he's been doing a really good job. One of the best shows there is, to tell you guys the truth, man. I love that show. So here he is as Blue Beetle, or as they refer to it on the movie, Scarab. I'm gonna do my best not to spoil it for you guys. If I do any spoilers, is basically anything that you guys already seen on the trailer. Okay, so basically, man, we got this kid. Heck, again, his name skipped my mind. You guys know how I do these, man. If the names don't stick with me, then they don't stick with me. I'm not gonna go back and look at what their names were or anything like that. So I'm just gonna go off of just memory, Holmes. All right. So here it is, man. You got this young kid, Zolo, right? Well, that's his real name, but his character name, I forgot his character name. But he graduates college, comes back. I believe he's 22 years old. Movie starts with him coming back to basically this made up city. To the best of my knowledge, this is a made up city. Okay. He comes back home. His family's all there. His family consists of his dad, his mom, his grandma, and his sister, and his uncle Rudy, played by George Lopez. All right. Who's a big, like Cheech and Chong fan kind of guy. All right. So he comes back from college, finds out very fast that everything is not that great at home. All right. The family's going through some trouble, and he had no idea. He's like, how come you guys didn't tell me? What the heck's going on, man? They're like, hey, because you were focused at school, we didn't want to bother you with it. Okay, boom, there. I love the relationship that he has with his sister. Okay, that's his only sibling, him and his sister. I love the relationship that they have together. They're kind of like friends, they're kind of buddies. They're not really like brother sister that hate each other. It's like, stay away from me. You got your own life over there. I got my own life over here. No, they're buddies, man. They're friends, and I like the relationship that he has with his sister. I like the relationship that he has with pretty much his whole family. His whole family. You could feel the real unity within the familia, homie. And I really dig that. The relationship that he has with his dad is pretty damn powerful, right? He spends most of, I would say, out of the entire family, he probably spends the most time with his uncle Rudy, played by George Lopez. All right. There is a little bit of a tearjerker spot in this movie that is very heartbreaking, but I'm not going to ruin it. What happens? All right. So he's thinking he's got to do something. The family needs help. He gets into the workforce, realizes it's not it's not really what he wants. He's trying to elevate his family. They live in the barrio. Okay. They live in the straight hood. They live in the barrio. Again, it's a made up city. The city itself looks very futuristic. Not where they live. Where they live just kind of looks like some hood or anything like that, man. But you can see the city in the distance, and that city looks very futuristic, and that's where everything's going off, man. So he gets a job, realizes it's not exactly what he's looking for to elevate his family. Yet he's working, under, or I should say, somewhat for the main villain in the movie. Boom. I'm not going to ruin it for you guys. It doesn't work out for him there, but he does get to meet somebody who's somewhat up there, right? They promise him a job. Hey, I get it. You're trying to make ends meet. Meet me at this place at this time, and I'll see if I can hook you up with a jale. He goes. This is the part that you guys see in the trailer where you see a girl handing him off a package or like a box carton of a burger. right? Obviously, it's not a burger. You guys already seen in the trailer. It's the scarab. That's what they called it. Boom, takes over his body. It is pretty damn freaky. All right. If you got like little kids, homie, once that thing starts taking over him, it's a little bit freaky, home serio, dog. It's something like out of the Exorcist movie or something of that sort. It's nothing pretty the way it takes over his body, man. So, you know, just throwing that out there, man. Um, it's pretty cut and dry what happens, man. We've seen this before in other superhero movies, okay? So I'm not gonna ruin it for you guys. I'm just pretty much telling you guys it's kind of like any other superhero movie that where they first find out that they got this, okay? It's him. Now this is now this is in him. He wants to get it out of him. It's like, oh, it chose you. It's like, okay, well, how does it unchoose me? I don't want it. Okay, let's try to figure out how to get it out of me. Then it's like, okay, let me try to figure out how I can control this. Then it's kind of like, okay, let me use this for good. Just pretty much like any other superhero movie that we've seen where it's the first time you're exposed to this new power that you get. Nothing different there, okay? As far as the villains go, I thought Susan Sarandon was great. Okay, man, that woman, she doesn't age that too badly, man. You can tell she's a little older, but she, for the most part, still looks the same, man. Her right hand man, this dude, and you guys have seen him in the trade on the trailers, man. Not a lot of character with this vato, homie. Okay, very calm, very quiet, not a lot of character, doesn't have a lot of lines, does not talk a lot. All right. But they do a pretty decent job as the movie goes on why he is the way he is and why he is Susan Sarandon's right hand man. Because Susan Sarandon is pretty much the main villain here, and he happens to be, the right hand man to her. And they do explain why that is and how that became to be. So she's highly impressed with, like, wow, this kid, he's got the scarab in him, and she's very interested in it. For to a certain extent in the movie, I'm kind of like, okay, where's the law and all this stuff, right? But anyway, Holmes, the action scenes are pretty man. They're very short-lived. Not a lot of long action scenes. Pretty short-lived, but they are pretty good. They are pretty good. Okay, let's get to the movie itself. Well, no, let's get to the cortura first. All right, because that's kind of what interests me in this. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Okay, I'm not a huge, over the hill type of superhero movie freak. All right. I never really read comic books. I did start watching, some of the Marvel movies, and then just too many of them came out. As far as the DC movies, I do like the Superman, Man of Steel. I'm a big Batman fan. That's probably my favorite superhero, even though he's not really a superhero. He's just a regular human. But that's gonna be my favorite. But I don't keep up with all the Marvel. I don't keep up with all the DC. I don't keep up with all that. I can't tell you guys everything in comic books because I never really read comic books. But I do enjoy some of the movies, man. All right. But this one, look, to the best of my knowledge, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I thought this was the first Raza superhero movie. Now, word came down. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That Blue Beetle has been around since, I think, like, I forgot, man. I think the 40s or 30s. I heard that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But to the best of my knowledge, that is, this is the first superhero who's Raza. So that kind of intrigued me. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Let me go ahead and check this out, Holmes. Also, what I had heard was that this movie was not going to go to theater. This was actually a go straight to streaming app. I'm glad it made it to theater. I wish more movies would have made it to theater. All right. So that's one of the reasons that I was very interested in this movie as well. So let's talk about the cultura, the culture in this movie. So this movie, it does have the family. It does have them living in the barrio. It does have, the dad is basically the youngsters are first generation here. Okay. Everybody else, they've been here for I'm sorry, they're from south of the border. So the kids, right? Him and his sister are first generation born here. And they do let that be known in the movie. Um, I love the culture, man. I love the cultura in the movie. At some point, look, I don't want to criticize it way too much, but at some point it got a little bit much. It's like, okay, cool, man. I'm glad the cultura is there. They're not trying to force it, all right? It's all pretty natural. But at some point, it's kind of like, okay, it didn't get too much for me. I just thought, they're really putting a focus on it, which is fine. It didn't ruin any of the movie for me, but they didn't have to have the focus on that too much. All right. Some of you might disagree with me. Here's one thing that I know I'm going to get ripped to shreds. Okay. Growing up, Holmes, I never heard anybody call their abuelita nana. Okay. I never did. I never called me abuelita nana. I never heard anybody call their abuelita nana. Yet every time I say that, I get flooded with people telling me, are you kidding me? Everybody called their grandma Nana. Everybody did. I did. My friends, my family, everybody that I knew, everybody I ever came across called their grandma Nana. So I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, cool. Great. Fine, Holmes. I'm glad you did. I'm simply saying in my life experience, I never heard anybody call their abuelita Nana. I either heard abuela, abuelita, or grandma. I never heard anybody call their grandma Nana. And that's not a problem. That's not an issue. I just want to throw this out there because they are throwing that name around over and over and over and over again when they're talking about their abuelita, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. It just really sticks out that they keep on calling her Nana. And I'm sure you and everyone you know and everybody that you came across called their abuelita Nana. I guess I'm the only weirdo that never called their abuelita Nana. And everybody that I came across didn't call their abuelita Nana. It was either abuela, abuelita, or grandma. I never heard Nana until I got older. And then I said, hey, who's ever referred to their grandma Nana? And then everybody always started telling me, everybody does. I'm like, okay, all right, cool, fine. All right, so let's just move on, man. It is a superhero movie. Okay, so you do have some cheesy parts. I think some parts where they're trying to make it funny. To me, look, maybe some people might find it funny. I found it kind of like, it didn't keep me engaged. There were certain parts where I'm just kind of like, all right, man, it's a little bit cheesy right here. The whole grandma thing, man, or I should say Nana thing, her picking up the cuete again. You guys have seen this in the trailer, so I'm not ruining it for you guys. Her picking up a cuete, and it's like the whole family. Oh man, it's let's go out, we got to go and take down these elite soldiers. It's just, I get it, it's a superhero movie, it's not a documentary. I understand. Okay, relax. I get it. I understand. All right, shout outs to Motley Crue when they're bumping Motley Crue, when Uncle Rudy is bumping Motley Crue. That part was very cheesy to me. I like Motley Crue. It's not even Motley Crue's fault, homie, but just that part. There are some parts in there that just got me scratching my head. It's like, all right, Holmes, they really cheese this part up. It's really cheesy right here, Holmes. All right. So I could have done without that. Some people, like I said, might find it very funny, Holmes, and you might be thinking I'm nuts. I mean, I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. All right. That's cool. That's fine. I'm giving you guys what I thought. And some of those parts were very cheesy, especially when it's like, we got to go rescue. And I'm looking at the family. I'm like, okay, you who, I'm not gonna ruin it, and I'm just kind of like, all right, cool, whatever, Holmes. All right, all right. So that's the Cortura. Overall, man, the movie, how was it? Was it good? Was it bad? What do I give it? Okay, as far as one of the superhero movies, I'm gonna say the Blue Beetle, him as a superhero himself. I would kind of mix it with Iron Man meets Venom. You combine those two, that's somewhere along the lines that I kind of got. It's nothing really different from that you're gonna get from other superhero movies, other the fact that there's you know, raza cortura in it, which is cool, dog. It's fine. It didn't really need to be too different, and let's say, hey, let's separate ourselves from other superhero movies. Nah, you know what? It worked. It was a good movie, man. Are there some cheesy parts? Yeah, there is. It's a superhero movie, and they do have to pander to kids a little bit, man. And I'm sure some kids are gonna find some of this stuff pretty funny. Who knows? Maybe even some adults found it pretty funny. Look, I do enjoy the movie. I did enjoy the movie, and I do think it's a pretty good movie. Is it the best super hero movie I've ever seen? No, it's not. But it is good and it is worth watching. Coming out of the movie theater, I did not feel like I wasted my money. So I do recommend it. Do you have to go see it at movie theaters? Honestly, no, you don't have to. However, if you do, you're not going to be wasting your money. Okay. You're not going to be wasting your money. But it's not, I went to go watch it in IMAX. Again, you could wait for it to come out, that's fine, or you could go watch it in movie theaters. It's not one of the two. To me, it's not one of those movie theaters. I'm sorry, it's not one of those movies where you say you have to watch it in movie theaters, but it's good enough to watch it at movie theaters, man. So you know, I give it you know what, two thumbs up, a thumb and a half up, man. It was good enough. I'll just leave it at that, man. It was good enough, man. Shout outs to Blue Beetle. There, I do want to see what happens with this character. I am interested if they make a part 2 or if they add them to, you know, other superhero movies or whatever. I am interested to see where they go with this, man. Cholo Trucker, M.A.S. movies and shows. I'll catch you guys on next one.